Good morning, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here. And yes, things got a little distracted yesterday. I do want to, like I said, make these weekly reset videos in the afternoon because it then gives me time to go through Challenge of the Elders and solo Challenge of the Elders, which I did manage to do, and it was interesting. But yesterday was interesting, so I really did get a chance to sit down and solo Challenge of the Elders until pretty late. But here we go, another week in Destiny, and hopefully it's a good week in Destiny because, well, I did get to see the moon, which was kind of cool. Anyway, let's see what's going on. So first off, we have Crucible, and Crucible is doubles, which I'm going to go with. It shouldn't be that difficult to get into. 2v2 multiplayer mode. Leave no ally behind and no enemy standing. I mean, it's 2v2, so you only need 4 people, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get into it. Again, only 4 people. You get a Treasure of Ages box, which gives you ornaments, cosmetics, silver dust. Always great to have as many Treasure of Ages boxes as possible, and 10 legendary marks. So, I mean, I also like to remind people, putting aside the doubles, is the fact that you can still have private matches in original Destiny. I just like to make sure to remind people that this option does exist for you, and not only can you run private matches, Crucible matches, you can still do SPARROW Racing League. So you go under game options. Now, it doesn't look like it is a selectable option. What you need to do is, it doesn't, like I said, you can see it looks dark, looks darkened. Just click on it anyway, because the map that by default is selected is not a SPARROW map. So you can see it says now game type SPARROW Racing, and you need to pick one of the maps, like Campus Martins. Once you do that, everything else works. So, yes, SPARROW Racing League is still in original Destiny. It's just only private matches. So if you're ever playing Destiny 2 and you go, damn, I missed SPARROW Racing League, just go back to Destiny. You can even do by yourself. It's not the same as competing with other people, but it still exists. So, yes. Anyway, next on the map, we have the weekly story playlist, which is, again, the best way to farm legendary marks, because you can get over 100 legendary marks if you do this 5 times. And a Treasure of Ages box. It is the Taken War. I like the Taken War. I have a preference for Rise of Iron simply because it was my first Destiny DLC. Like, when I started playing Destiny, the Taken War was already out, but I love the Taken War. I like the Taken War better than the Witch Queen. Controversial, I know, but I liked the Taken War. Anyway, the modifiers are heroic, enemies appear in greater numbers, and more aggressive. This is always true. Then you have Brawler, Guardian melee damage is greatly increased, and this does include the Hunter's Throwing Knife, which I am constantly telling people about it, reminding people about it. Knife Juggler, precision kills with throwing knife immediately reset its cooldown. So if you keep getting precision kills, you can just keep throwing that knife over and over and getting precision kills. It is awesome. It is my favorite setting. And finally, you have Exposure. Guardian shields are increased but do not replenish. I have recommended over and over again for people to pick up Red Death. Red Death is the best weapon to use against Exposure, because each kill heals you and speeds up reload. So even though the modifier Exposure does not allow your health to regenerate, this weapon will. So you get the benefit of increased shields, but you also get the replenishment because of Red Death. Now, I like, as you can see, you get a Treasure of Ages box, and do this 5 times, you will get 20 or more legendary marks. Just a reminder that once you reach 200, you will not get any more. So if I were to run right now a story playlist mission, I would not get any legendary marks because you can only carry 200 legendary marks. Once you reach that, any you earn, you will not get. Also, I always like to remind people, public events will get you legendary marks. The first time you do a public event in a day, will get you 15, but it has to be like gold tier. So, as I've said, this is the best way to farm legendary marks. Cool. Next, we have the SIVA Crisis Heroic. It's always surprised me that you actually get less legendary marks by doing this. You get 10 3 times, so up to 30, and a Treasure of Ages box. I will admit I'm biased. I like the strikes better in original Destiny. That's just me. I know some people like the Destiny 2 ones. I'm not that much of a fan. And I do think they should have brought Sepix Perfected, not Sepix Prime, Sepix with SIVA, to Destiny 2. I have a soft side for Rise of Iron. Anyway, the modifiers are heroic. You're always going to have heroic. Enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. Then you have juggler. No ammo drops for your equipped weapon. Then you have airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. And finally, you have catapult. Grenade recharge rate is greatly increased. So, it's decent. I have said this about juggler. There are advantages and disadvantages to juggler. On the bad side, you have to constantly be rotating your weapons because you will run out of ammo. On the positive side, though, when you're using your primary weapon, you will get more heavy ammo and secondary ammo. Because when you're using your primary weapon, you will not get primary ammo. You're going to get greens and purples instead. I have noticed when juggler's in effect, I get a lot more heavy ammo. So, SIVA Crisis Heroic, awesome. I said, don't forget skeleton keys. I love SIVA Crisis Heroic. And I have noticed that I'm always matched. And I think there are more people coming to Original Destiny. Next, we have the weekly Nightfall Strike. And I have... Oh, Valus Ta'arak. It is Valus Ta'arak, the modifier. So Valus Ta'arak is on Mars. There's actually a cheese point for Valus Ta'arak. I have soloed him. I think I even soloed him on a live stream. I do not know why, even though I did solo him on a live stream, this still keeps coming up. Maybe if I select it from here instead. I did solo him in the Nightfall. This is the big, very big Cabal, so you have to pass the tank and all of that. Valus Ta'arak. He has a cheese point. He's okay. The modifiers for the Nightfall are... So you have Epic. Heavily shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in greater numbers. You have Berserk. Minions of the Darkest won't flinch even after massive damage, which sucks when it comes to Cabal. This is not fun with Cabal, just saying. Because the way you defeat Cabal, unlike in Destiny 2, where you can shoot through their shields, you have to shoot them in, like, the shoulder. You sometimes see when they hold their shield up, you can see their shoulder or their foot, which makes them flinch, so then you can shoot them in the head. This, with Berserk makes Cabal so much harder, because they do not flinch. So you have to basically keep shooting them in the shoulder, or coming around, or using other methods like grenades. Yeah, this is when Cabal were tough. Then you have Specialists. Special weapon damage is favored. You have Juggler again. I said Juggler isn't that bad. I used to hate Juggler, but then when I noticed you get more heavy ammo, I was like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. Then finally, Match Game. Enemy shields are resistant to all unmatched elemental damage. Oy vey, this is why you get something like Zalo Supercell or something. Then you can have all three elements. It can be annoying. I think you probably would want, I'm guessing here, but I think you would probably want to go with Solar for your secondary, because I'm pretty sure that most Cabal have Solar shields. For some reason, that's what I'm pretty sure. Though Scions often have Void. But I'm trying to remember, were there a lot of Scions? I don't think there were a lot of Scions. Anyway, so that's the Vanguard Nightfall. I always remind you, don't forget to pick up the bounties from Commander Zavala. He has the 3 weekly bounties that you need to pick up. They look like this. And they're with Commander Zavala. You have to go to him to get them. Then there are the other regular Nightfall bounties. Those are at the bounty board. But these you have to get from Commander Zavala, at the table in the Vanguard room. Alright, that's the Nightfall. Then we have the Challenge of the Elders, which I did not realize until after that I had forgotten to start recording it. I did manage to solo it, and it was an interesting soloing of it, because I died twice. But when I got to the last boss, I only had like 6,000 points. But I managed to get to over... You can see my card. My card is 33,840. So even though I got to the last boss, and I was below 10,000. I was well below 10,000. I managed to make up for it, which was kind of cool. I I did, however, take a screenshot of my results, which I will be using as the thumbnail for this. So the bosses were, oh boy, my brain is suddenly freezing on this. The first is the Taken Hive. Sorry. The first boss is the Taken Fallen. The Kexis the Betrayed. The Fallen, so Taken Fallen, which is a pain in the butt because they keep popping their bubbles. There is a trick to make sure he doesn't absorb your light. I keep forgetting to look it up, but there is a trick to do that. If you know it, let me know in the comments. The second boss was my favorite, Valaraun, aka Cabal. This was rough because you have precision kill bonus, which oh man, I just realized I didn't go through that. But the scions are all void shields. All of the scions, except for the, his little buddies, the ones that shield him, all have void shield. So I was going with machine gun and fusion rifle, and yeah, I really wish I had one of those void primary weapons, but unfortunately I don't. That would have been amazing, because those scions trying to get through their shields with a primary weapon without any elemental type was a pain in the rear, which is why when I finally got to the third boss, I was at like 6,000 or 7,000. It was ridiculously low. Like at that point, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to get it. The third boss was Taken Vex, and that was a piece of cake. Because first off, as I said, your throwing knife for the hunter gives you bonus points. So first off, you get the bonus points from the precision kill bonus, which I just realized I didn't go through the modifiers, but you also get the points as a melee kill. When you get a precision kill with your throwing knife in Challenge of the Elders, you get the points for the precision kill, you get the points for the melee kill, and in this case, you get the bonus points for the precision kill. So you get a lot of points for every precision kill with your throwing knife. That's how I was able to get from like, it wasn't even 8,000, it was like 6,000 something. It was almost 7,000 points. From that to 33,000. I keep going out of that. So, as I said, the bosses were Taken Fallen, Cabal, and Taken Vex. And as I was saying, this is where some of the bosses can be a little annoying, but what I love about Challenge of the Elders and Archon's Forge and, there's a lot of variety in the bosses. That's one of the things that's great about Original Destiny. There's a lot of variety in the bosses. Anyway, the modifiers, as I said, you first have my favorite, precision kill bonus, which again, throwing knife. Then you have Ironclad. Yeah, see, more enemies have shields. In this case, it was the Scions with their void shields that were just a pain in the rear to get through. Scions are just a pain in the rear because they're Scions. And finally, Specialist. Special weapon damage is favored. So I'm saying, at the very least, when you get to the second part with the Cabal, make sure you have a void weapon. I mean, you have to also deal with those multiple scions, his shield buddies, so you will need a void weapon anyway. But to deal with the scions, just the regular run-of-the-mill scions bouncing all over the map, void shields. A lot of void shields. And as a reminder, your goal when you do Challenge of the Elders is do one run with over 30,000 points, which as you can see I did, and then a total cumulative score of 90,000. If you get the 30,000, you will get a weapon from Varix. If you get the 90,000, you will get an armor piece from Varix. Nice. Cool. That's Challenge of the Elders. Have I done everything yet so far? Finally, the weekly feature raid, Heroic Templar Challenge, Atheon Challenge. That's Vault of Glass. Let me know in the comments below, which do you prefer? Vault of Glass from the original Destiny, or all Vault of Glass from Destiny 2? Honestly, for some reason, I will admit I am biased. I prefer Destiny 2, so I would definitely go with Destiny 2's Vault of Glass. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, My apologies on the delay. I will also, I realized after the fact I totally forgot to make a legendary weapon guide. I will be making it tomorrow after work. So yeah, it takes a very, very long time. So I need to make sure I have at least an hour set ahead of me for me to be able to make those videos. And I hope to see you in the tower.